4, 3, 2, 1. Hey!
What's up, everybody? I'm Judge James.
I'm Judge Evie.
And it's Living for Crits. Thank you all for joining us this evening. It should be a fun and interesting one tonight. We've got a bit of a theme. If you saw on Twitter, we're talking Chained Coffin tonight. Had some requests from people to talk Chained Coffin, and I kind of held off on bringing it up until I finished everything that's in the box or in the book. I'll go over that in a second. So tonight's one of those videos where I guess, unfortunately, you'll hear more of me talking probably than Evie, because you only played a few adventures in the Chained Coffin.
Which I don't remember.
That was with Jeff.
Yeah, I remember that.
I know, it was a while ago.
Jeff.
But you qualified for having played the Chained Coffin, just not the actual adventure of the Chained Coffin. You were in that setting.
Sure.
Yeah, I know, sure, right? That's fine. And at some point we'll have tea, so that'll be great. For right now, though, I think we should start with some chatter about what's going on. Besides the fact I finished the Chained Coffin, which is good news. We have big news in that next Saturday, Judge Evie's getting back to gaming again because we're kicking back into our East Texas University campaign. We took a vote today to either we're halfway through the Shadow of the Demon Lord adventure, Tales of the Demon Lord, but took a vote of whether we want to continue that, the top 5 levels, or do we want to go back and try sophomore year of ETU. And we're going off for about a year and a half of that group. That we played together. We've just been playing other things, and since we're going to do in person again next Saturday, we're doing ETU, so that'll be cool. And you get to be Lexi. Is it Lexi again? Is it Lexi Lux?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. The other, do we have any comment? I mean, so where's the like comment section? Where's the? Oh, there it is. Oh, Dev is here. Hey, Dev.
Hi.
Like, where's the comments? Like, there's no comments.
I'm here.
Anyway, the other big news that I've got is that finally, after all these years, I'm tackling one of my white whales in that I'm going after the flood.
I didn't even notice this.
I moved it, yeah.
Wow.
I'm going after the flood for Deadlands starting Saturday. So I have 2 Savage Worlds games coming on Saturday. So I went from famine to feast. Famine being a good topic for the flood because it's based around famine and starvation, and I described it to my players as the movie Shanghai Noon meets Ravenous. So 2 movies. You'd like Ravenous. It's all cannibalism.
Sweet.
Yeah.
It's like that one movie.
Which one movie?
With not the caterpillar.
What?
It's not the caterpillar.
There's definitely no cannibalism in the movie you're thinking about. That's not cannibalism.
In a way, it kind of is.
Let's move on and let's refrain from those references. Judge Evie presides. Let's move into that part of the conversation.
Usually.
There's no rap. Don't give Greg grief. The dude writes raps for us. We don't even rap them every week because sometimes we're not here. And you're going to give the guy like crap? My hair looks terrible. That's why I'm wearing a hat. My hair is like, so hat time. You're going to give him crap?
Tonight.
I mean, what?
My hair looks pretty good today.
Yeah, it does. But we do have questions
Greg.
from no, it's not Greg.
No,
That's
Greg,
from
we had a whole
you cut the name off there. Who is our fan? I know who it is. I'm just saying, but to say I know I'm priming you to say it. I know who wrote it, but you cut the name off. So this is from Brian in Australia.
How did I cut the name off when I sent you the email? I just forwarded it.
Good day, judges. Oh, you read it.
What the heck? No, it's right off my phone.
Good day, judges.
Greg, we had a whole thing.
I'm using a non-Australian accent for an American living in Australia. My name's Judge Evie.
We were gonna snap this week and everything.
I don't know how to do accents. I think it's turning into more of a New Zealand accent because I've watched a lot of Flight of the Concorde. Flight of the Concords. It's Judge James's New Zealand accent.
You didn't hit the view entire message button, Dad.
Oh, okay. Read the darn thing.
Okay. I think the question that was like directed at me is just trying to attack me at this point.
A little bit of attack, but it's cool. It's all good.
Fair.
Just go into the attack.
Brian. Good day, judges. Down here in Living for Crits Australian Fam Center, we are getting flooded with questions for you. Perhaps everyone is very excited that you are back to broadcasting regular shows.
We're back.
Yay!
Woo!
Here is the first batch. Number 1. I remember you discussed I discussed
fish. I discussed fish.
I remember you discussed the old TS. What's TSR?
It says TSR. It's a company. Tactical Studies Rules, I think was the name, but it's the folks that made D&D originally.
Endless Quest books. Did you ever play the fighting fantasy game books? Parentheses. Similar to the other choose your own adventure, but make your character actually roll dice to resolve encounters as you go. Parentheses. Question mark. If you were to make a DCC and MCC choose your own adventure book, what adventures would you use for them? Question mark.
I don't know. Which DCC or MCC adventure would you use for it?
I don't know. I have to think.
I think Museum at the End of Time for MCC would work well because you have some outdoorsy stuff before you get to the museum. There's lots of different rooms. It's not linear, so I think that would be a good one. I never read the fighting fantasy books. I did just purchase another. I was at Pittsburgh last week, and I purchased another Choose Your Own Adventure book. I think it was Mountains of Mystery. It has a blue cover. There's a giant on it. But I saw that at there. It was like $10. I bought it. I'll read that.
You know, like the adventures that they ran at the thingy at Gen Con. What's it called? I'm blanking out.
What thingy? The tournament?
No.
What thingy?
Gen Con.
You what?
Those are kind of
Inferno Road.
Those are kind of already like choose your own thing.
You
right?
think Inferno Road or Meat Planet would be good for?
Well, I feel like they kind of already are choose your own adventure.
In the way that DC, all adventures are choose your own adventure.
But like, I feel like that would be good.
Oh crap! We've got tea.
I may have overdid it with the milk in yours. I apologize. Regular tea with milk.
Yes, thank you.
And look at these darn mugs, John.
Oh look, we are again presenting mugs for Monty Cook Games.
Where do these mugs come from?
Can these mugs be acquired by people?
Well, we did have.
Or is it just for you fine people that work for Monty Cook Games?
We did have some extras made that we gave out to contributors in years past, like over the years, contributors that.
I'm trying to plug in case someone wants to go buy them.
They're also, if you're an Asset Team member, they were available in the store.
Hey, look at that.
I do not think they're sold out yet, but.
If you're an Asset Team member for Monty Cook Games, you should go to the store, according to Jen.
I think they're still available.
They're still available, she thinks. So.
I haven't checked in a while.
What if someone became an asset? How would someone become an Asset Team member?
Go to moneycookgames.com and learn how to become an asset.
There you go. Thank you, Jen. Wearing a no thank you evil shirt.
You know, as luck would have it.
You're just.
good.
That's on camera.
I got a ponytail and stuff, you know?
She's got a ponytail. Can't go on camera with a ponytail. That's a rule.
I'm not camera ready.
Not camera ready with a ponytail. All
my
right, so
hair's
my
snapped.
vote was for Museum at the End of Time. What's your vote, huh? What would you say?
What do you think?
Really, what would you say? It's like, I'm a dog. I'm just gonna dog.
Okay.
All right, those are our votes. Next question.
My phone case is so dirty. Do you see this?
It's filthy.
This used to be clear.
It's pretty gross.
I've tried to clean it.
Read the next question.
And it just, like, look how white my phone is. But it's so dirty. Anyways, number 2. I know you've discussed...
Oh, I just burped.
Ridley. We're trying to answer questions.
Got a 13-year-old golden doodle down here just belching it, like, into my rear end. Oh, my gosh.
Anyways, number 2. I know you've discussed the basic fantasy role-playing game in the past. Have you run the system recently? We're looking for an easy system to use with a gaming group here, parentheses. Other than the big one, parentheses. That is relatively low cost and easy to start, parentheses. At least until a DCC fan kits arrive, ... parentheses, period.
Well, BFRPG certainly is cheap. You can get the core book for like $5 or $6 off of Amazon, and I think it's print on demand. It's free. That's pretty darn cheap. The whole stuff, all the PDFs are free, so I don't think you get much cheaper than that. And I from what I would say up to the last few years, that BFRPG would probably be a great way to go. The only other option that might suit your similar tastes would be to maybe look at doing a print on demand from Drive-Thru RPG of the D&D Rules Cyclopedia, because I have that. I've talked about that. That's a pretty good book. Or Old School Essentials. That's also a good system. I have some of the PDFs, but I don't own the game. I don't because I have DCC. So I can't think of anything else. And I have some issues with that style, with the with both basic fantasy and OSE, in that I hate the thief skill mechanic from like everything pre 3rd edition. I hate percentile systems. I think the fact that a first level thief is like a pickpocket at 25%, what a terrible thief. So I think and I hate the way magic works. Like you cast a spell, like one spell a day on your first level. What kind of wizard are you? You suck. Yeah. So no, not my game. But I just much took a giant dump on everything you just said there. So I apologize, Brian. We're being kind of snarky today.
Ridley started it.
Yeah, Ridley started it.
He's
All right,
calm.
next question. These are directed
Okay.
questions.
Number 3. Direct question round. A. Judge James, : have you customized my
You don't read colon.
Have you customized any settings for adventures you've run with MCC hyphen? Is it a hyphen?
Yeah, but you wouldn't say hyphen.
Created anything more for the Terra AD described in core book? Have you ever launched your MCC players into space?
Well, I definitely talked about this on Glober, but I don't run MCC on Terra AD. I run all of my MCC adventures in my own version of the Warden from Metamorphosis Alpha that I call the Augustin. And so we just finished an MCC monthly campaign recently. We went through all of the MCC modules I hadn't run yet, and it all took place in space. So yes, all of that has happened, and there you go. And I would tell a lot of folks, if you have never run a game in Metamorphosis Alpha, I'm not a big fan of the Metamorphosis Alpha rules themselves. The idea of a generational ship in space, pretty rad. So I have done that. Judge Evie, there's a question for you here. I want to ask it. Judge Evie, : have you ever run the Death Slaves of Eternity game, and how did it go, ?
It went really good.
You did not run Death Slaves of Eternity.
I haven't.
You wear the shirt.
I
You
don't.
haven't
I haven't worn it in a while.
But you
it's
have
dirty.
worn it.
It's dirty.
It's dirty, so you can't wash it.
I've been busy. I'm in a show.
You're always in a show.
I am always in a show.
Well, Brian, thank you for those questions. You can send more questions to dccjudgeevie@gmail.com. And
You can.
there you go.
Greg,
So let's talk Chained Coffin here, okay? First off, let's take a look inside. So this is the Chained Coffin box. And pretty much, I think, good luck finding the box.
Mr. Biggity?
Yeah, it's Ma Biggity and Pa
Oh.
Biggity. So the box set for Chained Coffin was released, 2015, 2016? When is
I thought you were gonna
DCC the
say
musical?
15 years ago.
Oh, we didn't snap.
Because we didn't have a rap.
We started listening to the
We
Dead
can't
South.
snap without a rap.
I'm snapping.
We can't snap without a rap.
Anyway,
And that's
they're
crap.
snapping in one of their videos. So this is the DCC Chained Coffin box set.
There's a DCC. Oh, I got the joke.
And
should find one.
if you don't have that, there's a very high likelihood that maybe you can still purchase this, which is the Chained Coffin hardback. Pretty much everything that's in the box set and more is in the hardback. It's just in a hardback format. So let's talk about what's in the box and then what the differences are between these. So in the box, you get the actual adventure for the Chained Coffin, which is this book here includes pretty much the entire level 5 adventure.
Look, they match.
I know.
Twins.
For the Chained Coffin. This is and the adventure is by Michael Curtis, and it's based on Appalachian mythology and stuff, and the Shutter Mountains as a setting, and the Shutter Mountains are like a fantasy version of Appalachia. So this is the adventure. I believe when the Kickstarter was out for this was going to be originally all that it was, DCC number 83. But if it got bigger, they'd have more stuff. So there is more stuff. For instance, there is a couple adventures that are listed in here, like the Woeful Caves under Yander Mountain, Sour Spring Hollow, the 0-level funnel that comes with it. There is a Chained Coffin companion. This book here is pretty cool. This includes some patron information and some different kinds of magic. And information with religion, which is called the Church of the Sovereign in the Chained Coffin in the Shutter Mountains. There is the Almanac of the Shutter Mountains, and this is essentially a history of the setting, and just some information about the Shutter Mountains as a setting with regards to this map. So there is a map of the Shutter Mountains. The adventure itself, if you run just the Chained Coffin adventure, it takes place just right here. That's it. That leaves a whole lot of world for you to explore, and they don't fill in all of it. So for us, for our recent campaign, we took place up here, but most of it around Meander Mountain in the city of in the village of Hark. The hollow of Hark. It's a little hollow, and some people living there, and that's where all of our stuff took place for that. When I ran it a few years ago, and Evie was playing Jeff. We say that because if you didn't know, Judge Evie's character Jeff was a warrior who every time he leveled, he added another F to his name. That took place around Ugly Bottom. All right, so that's the map that comes with it. Then there is the very famous, infamous, some might say, infamous in our group because we didn't actually use it in our adventure. How do I get it out of here?
I don't know.
I can't remember how to get it out.
I got this.
Hold it up. So this is the spinning
It's
wheel puzzle.
Right here.
Oh, this is the spinning wheel puzzle that comes with. Now, it came in the box set, although I got a box that didn't include it, and it also comes in the back of the hardback. Okay, and you definitely get it. All right. So this is a puzzle that's included, that's needed in one segment of the adventure. I won't spoil it and say what segment. I will say that there is a way to bypass this wheel puzzle.
This looks confusing. Are you
Which
just given
really
the puzzle?
upset my players on Saturday when we finished the Chained Coffins. You don't actually have to.
Are you just
use
given the
this.
puzzle? You just solve it?
That's what you're supposed to do.
You have no insight?
And well, yes, there are clues throughout the adventure as to what this is. Mr. Citrus remembers Jeff.
Jeff, you didn't say it right.
So,
You're not enough.
yeah, we
F,
sadly
right?
did not
It's like 6.
did not need that. You mean take this?
Yeah,
I'll need the
horses.
I'll need the book, the heavy book bag.
No.
Here, wait a second here.
My stomach. I got this back.
I'll toss you this over here.
Oh.
Finally, if you have the box set, there are 2 additional adventures you can purchase. The first is 83.1, which is Tales of the Shutter Mountains. Tales of the Shutter Mountains includes several adventures. It includes the Grave Pool, Moon Ricket Bridge, the Witchmen of Dark Weather Mountain, and I think that's it. I have run all 3. They're fine adventures. They're short, so Moon Ricket Bridge is kind of a side quest. And I would say the Grave Pool is also, and the Witchman of Darkweather Mountain is an adventure. It's not very long. I would say that these are really good, like micro con length adventures. This is stuff. If you could run any of these, I would say Moonricket Bridge really doesn't. I don't know if I'd want to run that as even a 2-hour game, but you could. You could run it as a short 2-hour game, maybe an hour and a half game. The Witch of Darkweather Mountain is definitely a 2-hour adventure. But if you want to beef up your adventure, you can add these in there. The other one is Death Among the Pines, which is a really, really good adventure. I love this. This takes place in a hollow with a gristmill, and this took us 2 sessions, maybe even 3 sessions. But this is a really good adventure. Now, so those are extra little adventures, little pamphlet adventures.
This one matches all the other ones.
If you can get your hands on the Chained Coffin hardback, everything I've shown you and a few other things is included in this. So really, this is the way to go. So if you're trying to decide, should I get both? No. In fact, I ran the Chained Coffin this time through mostly with this book because it was very convenient for me just to have it open. There is a bookmark, in here, which was nice. I did write in it because I write in my books. And, there is the map. It's in the back. That helps. And all of the adventures that we just looked at, talked about, are in here. So there's, the Almanac's in here, Sour Spring Hollow's in here, Yander Mountain's in here. I want to even think there's like an additional adventure in here that is, I didn't talk about. Like there's an add-on. I know in the back of the book, there is another encounter that where is it here? There are some tips how to use the spinning wheel puzzle. That's kind of cool. Further stories to hearken to. In the very, very back, Kickstarter backers for this, which I was not, unfortunately, were gifted an additional encounter with some, it was like hill giant noodlers. So you have this encounter where there are, I can't find it, there are hill giants, there are giant catfish noodling. That's when you fish by putting your arm in to the water and you hope that like a catfish will bite your arm and you drag it out.
Wouldn't it bite your arm?
Yeah, but I think it's just gum things. So that's there's a short micro adventure that was like it was given to backers, I believe, like in the mail or as like a postcard. That is in here. So anything you need for the Chained Coffin, just get your hands on this. It's $49.99. It's awesome, and I'm glad that I ran it and got to have that book. So I have some tips for anyone looking to run through the Chained Coffin. So the first tip is buy it. It is what I've had it on my shelf for quite some time. I think since 2016, and I've always thought about running it. I've tried to run it twice and get through the whole thing. Now that I've done that, I'm really glad that I did. It was just a really great experience. The other tip I have is while you're preparing it, listen to appropriate music. Bluegrass is a must. Any other kind of folk music is also fine. I will say that it was me listening to all of that stuff recently that kind of got me in the mood to get back into Deadlands again. I started to drift into like, you know, stuff like the Dead South and Culture Wall and I'm not a huge country fan to begin with. In fact, most of the time I don't like contemporary country stuff, but I like that old stuff. I like Johnny Cash. I'll listen to that stuff. So the next tip I've got is read everything over there first. Don't just run the adventures, read the history of the Shutter Mountains, read the backstory, get into it, get into the feel of the setting, understand the Shutter Mountains. The people there are different. It's not a medieval fantasy village. It should feel like a very different place. And then use the Chained Coffin box or book as a full campaign setting. There's so much there. Just set everything there. You don't need to leave and come back. You can just do everything there. Run all of the Chained Coffin adventures. They're all fabulous. They all mix together really, really well. Some of them, like Woeful Caves under Yender Mountain, have hints that could help later on with the Chained Coffin adventure itself, which is a 5th level module. So, you know, for us, for our group recently, we took characters and sent them there at 4th level, and they progressed to 6th level through the Chained Coffin over about 10 sessions. And I've run a few adventures in the past, so it took us, I would say, to finish all of the published stuff, it could take 12 sessions, but it's a 0 to 5th level adventures in there. You'll want to add other modules, whether published modules or your own things. And there are a lot of adventures that would fit in the Chained Coffin. Don't rush through it. Don't slam your players through the Chained Coffin and through the associated adventures. Enjoy it. And then finally, I would just say that, you know, I would suggest that you have a conversation with your players ahead of time about you know what their I guess what the plans of the party are in the long run. If your party is going to go kind of evil or kind of a dark like party, it's not going to go well for this. This adventure in the very end really is suited to good guys, and it's based on helping a spoilers. The Chained Coffin is based around helping a priest of a good aligned deity who is cursed and to become unleashed from his chained coffin. And you don't want to give that to a group of evil players. Sucks. I gotta also note there is a way. It does give like a DC level of I believe to open the coffin if a thief tries to open it with like a crazy high difficulty class to unlock the coffin. Don't give your players that, because remember that a DCC thief at 5th level is rolling like what D6s or D7s on their let's see 3, 4, 5, 6 D7s on their luck die, and they could spend 10 luck to roll 10 D7 and add it to their regular luck or difficulty or open locks check. Don't let them ruin the adventure in the first area. If you give players a difficulty class, they will beat it. So that is my discussion of the Chained Coffin. So, if you have any questions, put them in the comments below, and I'll get to it if you get this on YouTube. Sorry to just take over the whole episode, Evie.
You know, and like to counteract this, there could be like a whole Just Evie Precise episode, guys. Just send me questions. Send me questions. No, we should have a DCC the musical episode. We just snap the whole time the songs that we wrote.
We should do that. Kickstarter shout-outs. Old Gods of Appalachia, well over $1 million right now. So go check that out, especially if you've been to the Chained Coffin and you want to experience more Appalachian folk stuff. Of course, whereas the Shutter Mountains are based on Appalachian folklore mythology, Old Gods of Appalachia actually takes place there. So you could enjoy that for that. And we'll get to enjoy some Old Gods of Appalachia this summer when we go to Dollywood.
Woo!
Haunted Dollywood. It's not haunted.
Why is it haunted?
It's not. Road Crew shoutouts. Romance of the Cyclops Con is coming May 13th to the 15th. I think my Beneath the Well of Brass is like no one's playing. No, my Saturday morning game is fully opened right now. You know, like no one's in it, which is sad. Mr. Citrus asks, who snaps better, the Jets or the Sharks? The Jets or the Sharks? The Eagles. The Eagles snap better.
Oh, are these like sports people?
No, the Jets and the Sharks is West Side Story. You should know that.
Oh.
Miss
I
Musical.
was confused because you start talking about Eagles.
Well, because the Jets are a sports team.
That's why I got
was joking.
confused.
And the Sharks are a fictional sports team from the movie Any Given Sunday with
I've never
Al
seen West Side
Pacino.
Story. I've never seen it.
Did you ever see Any Given Sunday?
No.
It's too bad.
I've never
It's a
seen
good
it.
movie. Gen Con 2022, August 4th to the 7th. I will be running games there too. That'll be cool. Where can folks find us, Judge Evie?
They can find us at I Live for Crits on Twitter, Living for Crits on Instagram, and search Living for Crits on YouTube.
So until next time, be safe, be healthy, be kind, and all I'm gonna say today is I don't know.
What should we say?
Oh, I got a short. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say if you make some extra maps on Incarnate, they work really well for Shutter Mountains. There we go.
Wait, I have one.
Mr. Citrus has seen Any Given Sunday.
Oh, okay.
What are you gonna say?
My biggity. Honestly.
All right. Good night, everybody.
Night.